Rebels 2018 merchandise is available beside the bar. Get your Rebels t-shirts, hat, or hoodie. Will you please rise and remove your headdress, please, for the singing of our national anthem with Maddie Packford.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Great voice, Maddie Packford. Another round of applause for her, please. Sweet little singer sensation. How the Rebels team today. Today's touchdown and field goal sponsor is Key Core Developments. Key Core Developments, yes, developing communities for new homes. Football fans, you can catch everything you need to know about what's happening in British. The stars of the past
get after each other because of the rivalry. 3, 2, 1. Good evening, football fans. My name is Paul Short, and I'd like to welcome you to Westshore Stadium in Langford for a BCFC game between the Vancouver Island Raiders and the hometown Westshore Rebels. This game this evening is a battle for second place in the BCFC and a pitch last year's Cullen Cup champion coming back to the place where they won the Cullen Cup champion last year with a 25-7 win over the Westshore Rebels. This should be a good matchup this evening as both teams are eager to get after each other because of the rivalry and all-island rivalry. But at the end of the day, it's still a win and the BCFC keeps moving up in the standings. So I ask that you put your chihuahua in the kennel, go grab your favorite beverage, put your feet up, and enjoy BCFC TV.
Say also to the Spectrum Thunder that's in the house. Spectrum Thunder right here.
Welcome back, sports fans, for the opening kickoff of the game this evening. We got the Vancouver Island Raiders in their road whites with red and black trim, and the Westshore Rebels, in their traditional home all red with a little bit of white trim. This is the 28th meeting between these two, and throughout the years it's been a heated rivalry because of all the stories about the team moving up to Nanaimo and different things like that. That it's created some sort of island rivalry that is really unmatched in the BCFC. Currently the Raiders hold a 23-win and 3-loss record over the Rebels, but the Rebels have won and tied 4 of the games that they played last year and the year before. They won both games last year, and they tied and lost to the Rebels year before in 2016. So it's heated up over the last couple of years, but the Raiders still do hold that edge, and obviously they still have a little bit of bragging rights as the Cullen Cup champions, where they came in here and defeated the Rebels on their home turf in a stormy night last October. So this should be pretty good. The Raiders, as I said earlier, have a 2-win and 1-loss record. Their latest win was last week against the Langley Rams when they came back, scored 28 points in the fourth quarter to defeat the Rams 35-34. And for the Rebels, they were supposed to be in Kamloops last week, but because of the dangerous air quality up there, the game was canceled. Unfortunately, if everybody has heard all the reports and everything, that it's a bit too late, but BCFC took the right measures, in my opinion, and canceled the game because we don't want our athletes or any of the officials or anybody that's out there, to get injured or to be in any type of difficulty, to put them in harm's way, if you will. So as the Rebels have a 1-0-1 record, they haven't played for a week, so we're going to find out how quickly they're out of the blocks tonight. And the Raiders are chomping at the bit. The Raiders were knocked off by Chilliwack in Game 1 this year, and it was Chilliwack's first win in 31 games. So they've got to try to get that game back, if you will. It's somewhere along the line, and this is the game, on the road in Victoria, that they might be able to make that happen. I'm not sure what the delay is. We can certainly move the clock, but everybody's kind of waiting. The officials, I guess, are waiting for the clock to roll down to zeros, and that's another 2 minutes away. But last week's Offensive Player of the Week is the quarterback, Jake LaBerge from the Raiders. He led the comeback last week, and he was good on 21 of 30 passes, which is tremendous, for 334 yards and 3 touchdowns. And those 3 touchdowns came all in the fourth quarter, with the last one coming in the last minute to secure the victory. It looks like they're ready to go here this evening. Again, you have the Raiders. They'll be kicking off from their screens left to right. And deep for the Rebels is number 10, Cody Holmes, and number 2, Kane Stevenson. two very, very dangerous returners. Teeing up the ball for the Raiders is number 86, Jacob Normore. Kane Stevenson picks up the ball on his 15. Got a bit of a hole and cut down by number 41 by the Raiders. That's Justice Kremler who made the tackle. That'll give the Rebels a first down on about their 25-yard line. Be interesting to see how the Rebels come out in this game. They only play in 2 games, so you really haven't found out what type of offense you've been able to generate. But they do run the ball and throw the ball pretty close to equal yardage. They passed this year for 668 yards, and they run for 437. Mason Brown under center. And the ball off to number 21, I believe that was. Yeah, Khalil James. It looks like he picked up about 4 yards, maybe 5. Bring up second down and a long 5, just a little over 5 yards. Mason Brown is quite a quarterback. He can do it with his legs and with his arm. Got a penalty here. I'm not sure where that is. That might be legal procedure, maybe. Yeah, legal procedure against the Rebels. That's one thing this year that's hurt the Rebels this entire season. They lead the BCFC in penalty yardage, and only in 2 games they've had 50 penalties for 388 yards. And that's 3 football lengths plus, and you don't score many points, and they are the lowest scoring team in the BCFC at this point. So that's going to bring up a second and just about 10. Brown in a shotgun situation here. Back to pass. Across the middle, a little crossing route to number 2, Kane Stevenson. And tackle was made by number 29, Jeremy Chang from the Raiders. That's going to bring up a third down and about 7 yards. With 13:45 here left in the first quarter.
36, the Rebels.
Punting for the Rebels this evening is Kyle Clark. Kyle's father is a CFL official, Murray Clark. And deep for the Rebels is number 27, David Numa. A little bit of a kick more towards the sideline. Numa picks it up but out of bounds. Not sure why there was a flag thrown, but I guess it was just to mark the ball. Meant to throw the beanbag. So that'll give the ball to the Raiders at about midfield, just on their side of the 55-yard line. For first down. Yeah, Kyle didn't punt much last week or the last game against the Sun, and the Rebels tie 18-all tie with the Okanagan Sun. Cody Holmes did most of the punting, so I guess Kyle might have been hurt, but he is a good punter. He's a very good place kicker. So the Raiders up 1st and 10. Ball at center field. Quarterback Jacob Burge, number 12. And with him in the backfield is the BCFC leading rusher, Brett Williams, number 24. Williams with the ball. Cuts back to his right. Gets the first down. Nice run for pickup of around 12 yards. Tackle by number 44 on the Rebels, Estonia Tsukei. That's his first game back. He was away for a couple weeks. It's late to get into camp. They call him ET for short. That's first down of the game. Raiders possession, 1st and 10 at the Rebels 43-yard line. LeBurs to throw over the middle to Mike West, number 81. Quick little slant-in pattern there that just right in behind the linebackers in front of the defensive backs, picks up another first down. Mike West is a player that he played for the Chilliwack Huskers back in 2016, and he was an all-BC football player. just missed making the All-Canadian team with the CJFL. Again, 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Rebels 30. Again, hand off to Rhett Williams. Cuts up inside. Okanagan had the same type of success against the Rebels where they're able to run left and right. But once they tried to go wide, the Rebels' speed was able to cut that down. And so you might see the Raiders try to stay within the tackles during this game. But they are a very quick football team themselves. It's another 3 consecutive first downs for the Raiders here. Directing traffic, LeBurge in the shotgun. He's going to throw over the middle for number 15, Hugh or North Rainey. Incomplete. Rainey's the 3rd leading receiver in the BCFC. He's had a good year so far. This is his 3rd year with the team, and he's basically the favorite target at this point for LeBurge. And Rainey's got 17 catches for 214 yards. And those are both the catches and the yards are 3rd best in the league. Again, 2nd and 10. Raiders can get a first down here with the ball on about the 19. Another pass over the middle, again to Rainey. Same pattern, just incomplete. So that's going to bring up 3rd down. I would suspect that Coach Hawking would be calling for a field goal try here. Yeah, that looks like what it is. Number 86 coming in to try the field goal. Excuse me. Jacob Normore.
31-yard attempt.
26-yard try here. Kick is up. Kick is good. It's the score. Vancouver Island Raiders 3 and the Westshore Rebels nothing with 10:34 to go in the first quarter. That was Jacob's 2nd field goal of the season on his 3rd try. So the Rebels again will ask, so on the kickoff to ask Cody Holmes and Kane Stevenson to pick up some positive yards. The Raiders will be kicking off again from their own 45-yard line. So not a good start for the Raiders. You know, you put together a drive, you know, you'd want a touchdown. But there's some positive things that came out of that for them. They had some guys open. And for the Rebels, they're going to look at that and they're going to say, okay, this is what we're going to be facing this evening, so we've got to screw it down in these different areas. And it's a kick. It's going to picked up by Kane Stevenson at about his 18-yard line. Works to his right, finds the hole. That's a good return. Tackled by number 25 on the Raiders. That's Corey Fletcher. So that was a good return. That moves the ball up to the 42-yard line. That's going to give the Rebels the 1st and 10. This is a drive you'd like to have something come out of it, or at least, you know, change the field position. So the Raiders are going to be starting deeper on their own end. Mason Brown handoff to James. No, that wasn't James. I'm sorry. That was, yeah, it was James. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong roster. That's a pickup of about 4 yards. Bring up a 2nd and 6. Yeah, Raiders, they're feeling pretty good after that win last week over the Rams, and the Rebels as well. The Rebels against the Sun, even though it was a tie game, they came back in the second half and just dominated that football game. Both teams here are going to be vying for the Cohen Cup for sure. They're both very, very good football clubs. A long pass out to number 80, Nathan Salato, for a 14-yard gain in the first down. The 42 on the tackle, Ethan Morin. That puts the Rebels into Raider territory at about the 54-yard line. First down, their first down of the game. Again, Brown come up under center here. Play action pass. Sacked by number 45 of the Raiders, Matthew Hill. Matthew's a very, very good linebacker. Yeah, Mason didn't have any time on that one. If you look on the replays, he does the play action fake, and as he drops back, Hill is right there. He's just coming off the edge, number 45. Didn't have the time to really set his feet and find his open receivers. Your head's saying you've got about 3 seconds to throw the ball, but your feet are saying, get out of there. That's what you got to try to balance out. I guess I'm not sure if there was a holding penalty on this. Was there a flag? He's saying something. There again, that penalty's coming out early here in the game to haunt them after the play. Unnecessary roughness penalty against number 35, Aiden Enns Horvath. That puts you in a hole just after a nice first down, and then you back down towards about second down and 30, 35-yard line. Ground to pass. That was close. I thought that would have been a coverage. That was a pass intended for Isaiah Kardalickia. Just over the middle over the slot area. It was incomplete, so it's going to bring up a third down. Third and a whole bunch. Number 27, David Numa, is deep for the Raiders, along with Sean Raspi. And Kyle Clark punting for the Rebels. Good snap. That's not a bad punt. Ball ran out of bounds, I guess. That's why they blew it early. It's hard to tell here at West Hill Stadium. The football lines are golden yellow, and they blend in when it's getting a little bit darker, or if the sun's out, it's hard to see them. And the white lines obviously are for the rugby, because the Canadian national rugby teams, both of them practice here and call this home. So the Raiders have the football and the turnover on the punt return. And they got it first down and 10 at their own 52-yard line. LeBurge in the shotgun. Back to pass. Number 83 on the reception. But somehow he was wide open. That's Ellie Nelms-Horton for the touchdown. That's had to be a broken play over there on the defensive right side, where he was wide open on the corner. And the only reason the Rebels got close to that is he had to hold up a little bit to catch the pass. The pass was underthrown a bit. You can see it on the replay, but he's way behind the defenders there. And he just waltzes in, no chance for anybody to catch him. So that makes the score 9-0 with the convert to come, with 8:06 to go in the first quarter. Try the field goal is Normore, and he puts it up, and it's good. That makes the score Vancouver Raiders 10, Westshore Rebels nothing. Yeah, it'll be an interesting. This again, both these teams have some success coming back, so I don't think they get too concerned when they're down a little bit in the first quarter or at halftime, because they both have shown the ability to come back in the fourth quarter to win football games. Rebels did that in the first game against Langley when they won 19-16. They came back, and I think they were down 16-8 going into the fourth quarter. So they have that, and then obviously with the Raiders last week against the Rams as well. The Raiders will be kicking off again. Normore kicking off from his 45, and again Holmes and Kane Stevenson deep. Kicked off to Cody Holmes. Just goes over his head. Takes down at about his 20. He's got a little bit of a wall on this side. That was a very nice tackle by number 42, Ethan Moran. That was a very good tackle. But it's not a bad return. He was able to turn the corner. He gets the ball up to about his 32, 33-yard line. So the Rebels take over 1st and 10. Brown in the shotgun. Keeps the ball. He's working it forward. And an interception by number 7, Jervan McNally Hardesty. Turns the ball over at midfield. It seems like the Raiders, every time they get possession of the football, it's at about midfield. And when you have a short field like that, you can see on the replay here that Mason works to his left and he sees it, but he just underthrows it, just a touch. And I'm not sure he had possession of that football when he went out of bounds. He was juggling a bit, but we don't have the ability to replay things like that in the BCFC. That's something we'll have to maybe ask the teams to pay for in the future. A little bit of problem with the change, ready to go. Raiders 1st and 10 at their midfield, 7:30 to go in the first quarter. LeBurge in the shotgun, again going deep again. Another, just incomplete. He was trying that long pass again to Helms-Horton, incomplete. Again, he was open, but they just couldn't get the ball to him this time. It was in his arms and just popped out. You see in the replay there, it was all design play because he put it up on his 3rd step. So they knew exactly where they're going to go with the ball. You can see here just off his hands. And the Rebel got in there, a little bit of help to jump inside there. Malik Womack to knock the ball out. So that brings up 2nd and 10 midfield. Again in the shotgun, LeBurge. You very rarely see him up under center. So he'll be rolling to his left here. North Rainey on the catch. He's got a flag on the play, not sure what that is. That brings up a 1st down if it is a penalty against the Rebels. That looks like what the indication is, offside Rebels. So I suspect they'll decline this and take the 1st down. Looks like the ball is going to be at about the 35-yard line. Yeah, offside Rebels. So they're having some success in the air today against the Rebels. They're attacking the left side, and they've done that on almost every pass. They've tried over the middle, going to the left, and any type of run to the left and pass. They've had some success with it. And you see Coach Beattie making some adjustments on the fly here for sure. There's Rhett Williams on the handoff. He fumbled the football, it looked like. The ball was ripped right out of his hands by number 15, Rashawn Provo. And that's the first turnover for the Raiders this evening. It was a good play. I don't know if you can see it on the replay. He just came in and he grabbed him from behind and just ripped the ball out. So that's a Rebels football, 1st and 10. Again, problems with the chain, so that's going to slow the pace of the game down here a bit. So that's Rebels ball at their own 36-yard line. Here's maybe the break the Rebels needed. 6:20 to go in the first quarter. The handoff to Clell James to his right. And it looks like he picked up about 7 yards. Along 6. Not a bad little run. You can see here on the replay. He gets airborne. He doesn't really get tackled. He just gets airborne. He gets his legs knocked out from underneath him, and it goes down hard. So it brings up 2nd down. Yeah, about 3. Gain of 7. There's James again. That should be a 1st down. Or close to it anyway. Moves the ball out to the 46-yard line. Yeah, give him a 1st down. It's the Rebels' 2nd 1st down this afternoon.
1st down, Rebels.
little smoky around here. It's still, the province is enveloped in a lot of smoke, but it's cleared out here with the westerly winds, but it's pushing it all into the interior. That's why they had to cancel the game in Kamloops this evening. So Kamloops is in Chilliwack playing that game that's on right now. The other game tonight is that the Okanogans playing in Langley, and that kicked off at 7 o'clock as well. Brown in the shotgun, 1st and 10. Kane Stevenson, nice catch. Backs out of bounds at about the 39-yard line. That was a very, very nice catch. Brown and Kane was working his way. He was almost running backwards on that one. You can see on the replay, he put it out over his outside shoulder, so he had to turn his body around, and he catches it kind of backing up. As you can see, he's just backing up, catch the ball, step out of bounds. That was a good play. Jeremy Chang, number 29 on the coverage, and just a good pass. He put it where the only guy that could catch it was Kane, or was going into the stance. There's James on the handoff to the right. Picked up, it looked like about 5 yards. Tackled by number 42, Ethan Moran. Pick up a 4. And puts the ball on the Raiders' 35-yard line with a 2nd down and 6 with 4 minutes and 15 seconds clock rolling here in the first quarter. The Rebels were eager to play a game because, you have to miss that game, and then you get into the smoke situation. You want to get out and get your legs going because you couldn't be outside practicing very much. There's Brown. He gets a little happy feet there. And there's a sack by number 98, Brody Taylor. He's one of the sack guys in the BCFC from last year, and I think that's his first sack this year. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down. That was a loss of approximately 7 yards. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down and a punting situation. That's not bad. The Rebels moved the football. They had some success, and now you have a chance here to make it a really long field for the Raiders and go out and play some defense. Araski back for the kick, and a one off of Kyle's shoulder. Shoulder off his foot. And that's what you need. Number 27 on the Raiders, David Newmont, caught the ball, but he's working backwards too much, and they were able to make the tackle. And it looks like it's about inside maybe at the 6-yard line or 4. I guess it's about the 4-yard line. So that's not bad. When you add all that into it, it turns out to be a pretty good punt. So a very long field for the Raiders here. It's going to be interesting to see how they approach this coming out from their own end this deep. Now here, LeBurge, he's not over. He's coming up under center. He made me a liar early in the quarter, never coming up this way. There's Rhett Williams, 24 on the handoff for a very hard-fought 3 or 4 yards, right into the heart of the Rebel defense. It gives you a bit of room as well. You don't want to do anything too silly to make a mistake on the play or get sacked or anything like that. You take a safe play, and run up the middle is a safe play. That brings up 2nd and a good long 6. Now the Raiders will be in a situation here where you're going to be looking at, am I going to be passing or are we going to be running? We have that option. Because he's going to look at it, he can just punt the ball away, start over again. And he's going to throw it. There, he just throws it away, gets it over the line of scrimmage. That was a good smart play, LeBurge. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 from, and they'll be punting from their own end zone. You might see them give up a safety, although Nick Hunchuk, who was here last year and I in my opinion, won the Cullen Cup for the Raiders when he was punting just rockets. He had an average about 55 yards a punt that afternoon or that evening. Earlier this year, he was Player of the Week for his punt average. I think it was against Kamloops when he averaged 51.7 yards a punt during the game. And that's tremendous for junior football. Here he gets not a bad one away. A good and high for cover to come down. Cody Holmes picks it up. Working to his left. He's got a little bit of a wall before he gets tripped up by number 39, Jason Henderson. But that's a good return. I got a flag on the play. That could be an illegal block during the return. But he had a good ball there. As he was turned the corner, if those guys from behind didn't catch him, he cut a little back to his right a little bit, not allowed the pursuit to catch up. Got a clip against, it's against the Raiders. And it's a low block against the Raiders. So that's going to move the ball up 15 yards from where the foul occurred. So that should put the ball on approximately the 27-yard line, I would think, somewhere in there. 26-yard line. There's a break for the Rebels with 1 minute and 46 seconds to go here in the first quarter. They get the ball, 1st and 10 at the Raiders 26. Penalties do come back to haunt you. Anytime you take a foul, it's somewhere in the game it's going to come and haunt you with a touchdown or something that's going to create some very negative things for your team. You could be running on Tuesday if it doesn't hurt you with a touchdown. There, Brown back to pass over the middle of Kane Stevenson, just on a little crossing road. They had tried that earlier. And again, those are one of those plays that, you're not looking for a bunch of yards. If the receiver or the runner after the catch or the run is able to pick up yards, that's a bonus. But that's just to tell everybody on the defense, hey, we have this play in the playbook and it's working for us. So they got to be aware of it. Takes people out of position. That brings up 2nd down and 7. Ball resting at about the 22-yard line, 23-yard line. Brown back to pass. Intercepted. That was intercepted by Rapsky. And got a flag down. Not sure what that was. Could it be something after the interception on a low block or a penalty? I don't know if that was a well-advised pass. You can see on the replay here, as he was flushing out, I thought he should have run, but I'm not on the field, and everything's happening a lot faster time than is happening up here, that's for sure. Yeah, I thought he had a chance just to get outside here, and he threw off his back foot and he didn't have enough oomph in the ball, and Orowski just stepped in front of it to make the tackle. So I didn't see the penalty, but it was unnecessary roughness, as I hear from the announcer, Ken Himes, Kenny Hurricane Himes, a fixture here at Rebels games over the years. So that's the second turnover today. That's the second interception that Brown has thrown. It gives the ball 1st and 10 at the 35, 36-yard line of the Raiders. LeBurge in the shotgun. Quick little pass out to Mike West. Breaks one tackle. He's not going to break the second one. It was a tackle by number 7, Eric Williams. You don't get away from him too often. He's very, very quick. Strong hands to be able to hold on. But he did pick up 7 yards. Let's bring it up to 2nd down and 3. Ball at the 42-yard line. Yeah, turnovers and penalties. Those are the things that come back and haunt you. And so far we've had the 2 turnovers, and that was the second unnecessary roughness penalty against the Rebels. And again, you're giving team field position and or taking field position away from you when you commit these fouls. Here again, a quick pass to West. I think there was an offside penalty there as well. And he was pushed out of bounds by number 44. That was, E.T. pushed him out of bounds. But he had a lot of help there coming. Number 4 was there, Deshaun Kerr. That could have been offsides. I think they picked up more yards than the offside penalty, so they'll probably decline this and have the 1st down and be at their own 50-yard line.
One of the players to watch this year. He's ferocious on the outside.
So here's the call. So there's the penalty decline, and that was the last play of the first quarter with the score Raiders 10 and the Westshore Rebels nothing. Yeah, so the Raiders have 1st down now at their 50-yard line. Under center this time, LaBerge. There's double fake, just rolling outside. And steps out of bounds to center field for about a 5-yard gain. That brings up a, he stepped out okay, good 4-yard gain. And shotgun this time with the 2nd down and 6. Back to pass. And they're trying to go deep today. They're picking on the corners on the Rebels, so there's something they saw on film. That was incomplete. Going to bring up a 3rd down punting situation. Nick Hunchak again, number 37, out to do the kicking. Looking like number 80 for the Rebels. Nathan Falato deep. He's the sole man deep. Cody Holmes, number 10, coming off the edge at the bottom of the screen. Hunchak, a beautiful high punt. That's got snow on it. It was so high. That's not a bad return. When you have a high punt, sometimes your coverage guys get a great chance to get down there, and that's just what happened. There will limit the gain and make the tackle. 44 on the tackle there, Braden Belton. You can see Nick's running to his right, and nobody's there to help. Everybody just coming in to make a tackle. So that's going to give the Rebels 1st and 10 at their 23-yard line. Score is 10-0. We're just a minute into the 2nd quarter. Mason in the shotgun again. Got Holmes to his left. It's a handoff to Little James again. Finds his hole. And if it wasn't for a saving tackle by number 49, Todd Campbell, I think he might have been gone. That was a great play, just running off tackle. Got up inside. He was coming across the formation. And they just pull everybody and get guys out in front. And you can see where he just makes the cut. And he just gets a hold of the back of his feet to knock him down. So that picked up a lot of yards. 1st down, about a 22-yard run. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Zone 44. Again, same play. Just turn it out. Number 51 for the Raiders stepped up to meet him. That was, I don't have his number on the roster. Not sure who that was. But he limited it was a 4-yard gain. That's going to give the Rebels the 2nd down at their own 47-yard line. Yeah, he just ran over him on that last play, and it wasn't a tackle, it was a catch. Second down, Brown in the shotgun. Flushed out. And another sack. That was number 49, Todd Campbell, finishing him off. Brody Taylor, number 98, turned him back inside. They're running all over the place there. I can see on the replay, he sets his feet, but he can't find the guys he wants to throw the ball to, so you only have so much time. You can see a lot of guys standing around because they're saying, hey, you told us to block for this 2 seconds, and it turned into be a 10-second play. That's very difficult to do. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down, loss of about 6-7 on the play. Clark back in for the punt. Rossby deep. That's a nice punt. Hunchak has a nice one, and Kyle just matched it right there and said, okay, we can do what you can do. That was caught by number 2, Xander Bailey, and just run into the Rebels bench after a pickup of about 3 yards. So that's going to give the Raiders 1st and 10 with a starting point at about their 42-yard line. Yeah, we're still 10-0 score with 11:30 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Been a good game so far. There's been a few penalties, but nothing. There hasn't been a lot of pushing and shoving. Now, these teams are known for that. as the game progresses on, you know, this island rivalry heats up, and everybody wants the bragging rights, at least for a week, because they play again in 2 weeks after next week's bye up in Nanaimo. It's the first completion to North Rainey from LaBerge. That looks like about pick up a long 6. It'll bring up second down and 4. Long 4. Ball at their 47-yard line. So there's a lot going on with Chilliwack in first place in the BCFC, and that's a great feat for them and Coach Bob Reist. After going 31 games without a win, now their record is 2-1. With Kamloops coming to town tonight, and Kamloops bet 0-2 in the league so far. I don't want to say that Chilliwack's going to beat them, but you know, I would suspect a lot of people were betting that Chilliwack will beat them. So there was a first down catch. The other game is the Okanagan Sun and the Rams are both coming off losses. The Huskers upset if you want to call it an upset, the Sun last week. I think it was 20, if I remember correctly, 24-18, and with the Rams losing to the Raiders last week. So it's one of those things that this game, in my opinion, between the Sun and the Rams is very important, based on the fact that you get behind the 8 ball. If the Rams go down 1-3, or the Sun are, you know, they'll go down 1-2-1. You got a big hole to climb out of, and it's still early in the season, but you don't want to get down like that because you still got to play these teams again. The good part for the Okanagan Sun is that they're playing their first 4 games on the road, then they finish off at home, have 5 at home, and only 1 on the road in the second half of the season. So I got a 1st and 10 at the 53-yard line. Raiders. It's a handoff to number 10, Thomas Franks. Knocked down by Rashane Grovo. Just a easy little play to the offense's left. Provo comes up from the inside. You can see number 15 just cuts off and just cuts him down with his arm. Show you how strong that man is. He's been all over the field. I think, in my opinion, this year he's been the most valuable defensive player for the Rebels to this point. Yeah, that's a gain of 2, so that's going to bring up 2nd and 8. And a timeout by the Rebels. Coach Beattie there on the field, calling his guys over. If you see his hat going up and down fast, you know that he's mad. I had the pleasure and honor of coaching Shane way back in the, I guess it'd be 87 and 88, something like 86, 87, 88. And he was intense then, is intense now. But that's what football teams are. They're like fudge, eh? They're smooth and sweet, but there's always a few nuts involved. So it's one of those things that, you know, you, as a coach, you try to control all that eagerness, that testosterone, all that part of these young men growing up, and you channel it all in the right way. And then when they walk away from this game, they have fond memories of it, and like they have alumni game or alumni celebration here this evening, and I've seen a lot of ex-players that I played with, coaches that I coached with, coached against. So it's one of those things that you have a passion for this game and you want to stay involved, and the impression you leave upon these young men, they'll never forget it. So after the timeout, it'll be Raiders will be facing a 2nd down in about long 8 yards. Rhett Williams got hurt a couple plays earlier. He hasn't been back yet. That would be a loss to the Raiders if he isn't able to return. LaBerge in the shotgun. Quick little throw out to number 4. Oh, that was a nice play. Great tackle by number 7, Eric Williams, to keep Brett Ablett from getting the 1st down. That's going to bring up a 3rd and less than 1. And the Raiders aren't taking any chances. They're going to say, well, we're in control. We're up 10-0 with 9.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. We're going to punch you the football. Try to pin you deep. Coach John Cardelicchia works the special teams for the Rebels, and he always likes the ball return, those sideline returns, and they keep working it, and one day it's going to go, and you're going to see a lot of smiling faces on that Rebels team when it does work. Cody Holmes with picking up the football, finding this hole. One man to beat, Hunchuk to beat. And he's going to cut the corner. Nick Hunchuk takes him out of bounds after about a 55-yard return. That gives the Rebels 1st and 10 at the Raiders' 44-yard line. A little bit of a break they need. You can see here the ball bounces, and he works up the middle, then starts to say, okay, up the middle, then I'm going to cut as quickly as I can to my left. See ya. And if it wasn't for Hunchuk back there, number 37, who had the angle on him, he was gone. There's nobody could catch him. And Nick just throws him out of bounds. So that's one of the better returns this year so far. Hand off to Williams for a gain of maybe a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Kind of a messed up play there. It looked like it was a forward handoff, and the timing just wasn't there. They'll get a little less than a yard, so this still brings up a 2nd and 9. James is to Brown's left, and Aiden ends Horvath to his right in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right. Throw a quick slant over the middle intended for number 11 on the Rebels, Austin Lindau-Brow. That was incomplete, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 9. A punting situation. Yeah, it must be punting. Kyle Clark's back on. So again, trying to keep the Raiders deep in their own end. Sean Arapsky is the deep receiver for the punt, along with number 2, Xander Bailey, on the far side of the field. Got a little bit of a spread formation here on the punt. That spreads out the defense. It makes it difficult to find holes to come if you get a block scheme on. The punt to Bailey, number 2. Catch that ball. That's going to be no yards. He caught it clean, so that'll be a 15-yard penalty. And it looks like somebody on the Rebels is down there. I'm not sure who that is, but that was a collision using his hat. I think he might be, the way it looked like it's making contact with his helmet, so it could be a little bit of protocol for a concussion. Yeah, I don't know. I can't get that number. But that'll move the ball up 15 yards. And he's getting up. Still can't get that number. That's number 97. That's Jake Osted. Yeah, I think somebody should be talking to him. Anyhow, so the Raiders have 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. That good return came to nothing for the Rebels, so turns the ball over to the Raiders. And Rhett Williams back in to take the handoff and look like a pick up a hard 2. Again, Provo in on the tackle, and number 19, Camille Moore-Williams. So 2nd down and a long 8. Williams just to the left of the LaBerge, drops back the pass. Got a bit of a blitz on here. That was a great play. Just a great play by number 40 on the Rebels. That's Benjamin Pierick. Great sack. That was a loss of about 8-9 yards. A very nice play. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Yeah, it's just hustling. You see on the replay there, I think LaBerge's a little bit quick getting out, but the Rebels defense is so aggressive and so quick that you only have so much time, and it's just the same as Brown. It's when he's going back to pass. The Raiders defense, they're not going to give you a lot of time. That's one of both teams have defensive coaches that really believe in the defensive part of the game. There's Kane Stevenson on the punt return. It breaks the tie. He's got the wall. I got a flag down. We might have a legal block there, but he got the wall. That's going for the touchdown, but I think there was a block at center field that's going to bring this back. I I saw number 39 from the Raiders go down kind of awkwardly, Jason Henderson, and that usually indicates if you land on your face that you were knocked down from behind. That'd probably bring the ball back, and they'll be having 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. But that was similar to what? You have to have some sort of positive things happening. You look at this positive play. It just, he broke the tackle. He kept everything moving. Just keep your feet moving. Keep your feet moving. Which he did. He kicks out of it. And again, then they got the wall. You can see the block coming up right there. So you lose some points. You lose some yards. But you take the positive out of it to that day. We're getting there. All right, 6:18 to go in the second quarter. It's 10-0 Raiders. That's going to have the football at their 40-yard line, it looks like. So Rebels 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Yeah, Rebels just don't seem in sync. And again, there's no excuses. I don't know if there's any excuses. It's just that they haven't practiced, to get on the field that often this week. And I'm not saying the Raiders have as well, because both Victoria and Nanaimo were smoked in for a few days down here. Kalal Williams working to his left. Nice tackle from behind by number 20, Tyler Hill. They're about a 12, 14-yard gain for first down.
Thank you.
You can see on the replay, just follow the blocking. Just a little blocking, then he uses the speed. He high steps as he gets closer to the tackles, and that does make it harder to tackle you. But when you do get tackled, if you get tackled low, it makes for a spectacular tackle because you're going down harder. Makes it look kind of hard. There he is up the middle in the heart of the defense. I guess you sort of don't know who made the tackle, but I guess the last guy in white that gets up gets credit for it. That's a pickup of 5. Clock rolling, 6 coming up in 5 minutes and 20 seconds left in the half. Yeah, this would be a pretty important drive for the Rebels. Got to come away with something, either a bit of a drive here and a punt that keeps the Raiders in their own end, and then you get the ball back in decent field position with stopping them, or you culminate this little drive we got going now with a touchdown. Get back in this game. Brown back to pass. He's going deep for Holmes. And I think if Cody Holmes didn't knock that ball away, I think McNally Hardesty would have that football. I think you see on the replay here, he knew who he was throwing to. He looked at him right away. And he's going to Holmes. And I think it's as Gervan goes to put his hands up, yeah, I think Cody Holmes, he played a defender there. He was the defense on that side. So an incomplete pass, bring it up third and 7. The ball at the Raiders' 51-yard line. Kyle Clark in the punt. And Sean Arafsky deep for the Raiders, along with Xander Bailey. Another good punt. This one's coming to Arafsky. That's no yards. You got to throw a flag on that. That's good. Both punters tonight they're punting the ball very well. And, there's a very calm evening. There's no wind at all. Beautiful night for football. A huge crowd here. There's got to be, I don't know, maybe 1,200, 1,300 people here tonight. But you're going to get that because there's always, a busload or 2 or 3 busloads and lots of cars coming down from Nanaimo to support the Raiders. And then being alumni night here, there's a lot of familiar faces and guys that played through this Rebels organization when they were Payless, Victoria Payless, when they were Vancouver Island Sharks. A lot of years in this league. It formed in 1985 as a Victoria Payless, and it continued today. There's LeBurge back to pass. Nice catch by Mike West. That was strong hands because he just held on to that football as a defender. I didn't get the number of the defender. That might have been number 33 that Gervan. You see it on the replay here. He just throws a quick out to Mike West. And he just catches it in his hands and squeezes it and squeezes it and squeezes it. And number 5 on the Rebels, Malik Womack, just couldn't punch it out. tells you that he's a pretty good receiver when he can hold on to the ball like that. Strong hands. So that brings up a 2nd and 4. Raiders at their own 46-yard line. 3:35 to go in the second quarter. 10-0 Raiders. The Bird barking out the signals, hands off to Rhett Williams, cuts back to his right. And I think did he drop the ball? It looked like he might have dropped it. But he did not. And he almost a first down. I think they're going to have to measure here for sure. That was a tough little run, just an off-tackle run. Get what you can get. He's not the type of guy that when you give him the ball that's going to ever give up. And he's one of those guys that'll get you 4 yards, that'll get you 50. I used to coach a couple running backs that when you had to ask them to get 4 yards, they get 4, but when you ask them to get 20, they still get 4. So, and one of them's sitting in the stands tonight. I'm not going to say that to him. So it looks like that is a first down for the Raiders. That'll put the ball 1st and 10 at their own 50. Yeah, both these teams they're sitting in the middle of the pack. The Raiders are leading the league in rushing. Rhett Williams leads the league, and he's not really lighting it up, but he's doing okay. He's averaging 100 yards a game so far. Not sure what he's got this evening, but he's probably close to 50 for this first half. But they give up. The Rebels give up 170 yards a game rushing along the ground, and that's standard. That's middle of the pack for the league. LeBurge on the pass comes over the middle to number 80. That's Jared Braun. I think Jared Braun scored the winning touchdown last week against the Rams. He's looking for him right away, and he sees him over the middle, waits for him to clear his behind the linebackers and in front of the DBs. That was about a 14-yard pass completion for first down. It's going to put the ball on the Rebels' 44-yard line. And with the 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in the first half, scores 10-0 Raiders, and we just had the 3-minute whistle. But as I was saying, the Rebels are just in the middle of the pack. The Raiders are in the middle of the pack other than the rushing side of it. And it's early yet. These guys are at, 400, 600, 200, 300 yards on the different categories. And that's going to increase because this is only game 3 for the Rebels and game 4 for the Raiders. But the area that jumps way out is the Rebels on the penalty side. In 2 games alone, they've committed 50 penalties for 388 yards. And they've also had not a lot of success on the offensive line side. They've given up 13 sacks this year, which the only team that's given up more is the Kamloops. It was great play. That was a long pass intended for number 4, Brett Albert, and it was knocked away by the Rebels' number 6, Christian Buckley. That was a great play. If you can see on the replay, Buckley has to leave his feet to knock this ball away. And he was out there. That was a score if it was thrown, and Buckley didn't make this play. Just leave his feet, left arm, knock the ball down. Tremendous play. So incomplete pass. So let's bring it up with 2:43 to go. Second quarter, 2nd and 10. Raiders at the Rebels' 44-yard line. LeBurge shotgun. He's back to pass. And that'll be an intentional grounding penalty. He was going to be on the ground. He got sacked. So what they're going to do is they're going to lose the yardage and lose the down, so that'll bring up 3rd down. That's just what the Rebels need to get some points on the board before halftime. But, it's one of those plays, no harm, no foul. You just punt the ball away, and the way Hunchuk's been punting tonight, Rebels will probably get the ball inside their 25. So you again got Kane Stevenson. I think that's Kane Stevenson deep, along with Flato and Cody Holmes. Number 80 and number 10, Cody Holmes. On the penalty, it'll be 3rd down, big punt. Low driving punt. Spiral. Taken by Holmes at about his 20-yard line. Making guys miss. Again, he's setting up that wall. The wall is set. There's a good block. It's a very good return. There are a couple of blocks on that one. They're going to block on the far side that may be illegal against the Rebels. And they got a flag on the out here on this sideline. That could be for talking, but you can see where the ball bounces, and he's such a good football player. He's able to, juke and jive his way around. And then they got the wall set, and there were two really good blocks. And as he try to make this last guy miss here, he just stepped out of bounds right there. And then help came. So they're going to have pretty good. I'm not sure on the first penalty. That could be against the Rebels, and if there's a talking penalty, they might all balance out. They end up with the Rebels will have the football somewhere around their 30-yard line maybe. Unless both of them are against the Rebels. But we still have a Raider down. That's number 44, Braden Belton. Looks like it's a knee or ankle. The referees in a conference. They sure talk a lot. The officials they travel together. They're in the change room talking together. They have a post-game thing after to talk about the game and what they did, and then they talk a lot during the game as well. So here's 3 penalties. So we got the legal block on both teams and an objectionable conduct against the Raiders. That should move the ball. I thought they'd be moving it a little farther than that. But I guess it's moved up to 10 yards from where the initial penalty happened. So the Rebels have the football at their own 30 with 2:15 to go in first half. Khalil Williams up the middle. Picks up a strong 5 yards. Tackled by number 49 on the Raiders, Todd Campbell. Changes coming in on both sides. Clock will be running, coming up on 2 minutes left in the half. Rebels facing a second down and a long 4. Brown and shotgun. Another handoff to Williams. Yeah, you got to let the Raiders are starting to snip that one out a little bit. But he also didn't. His first blocker kind of missed his. Didn't miss the block. He just missed how to turn him. And Kalal just didn't. He ran out of real estate before the rest of the help was there for the Raiders defense. So that's going to bring up a third down. There was no gain on that play. A third down and long 4. Rebels will be punting. Xander Bailey and Sean Arabsky deep for the Raiders. Kyle Clark punting for the Rebels. This is the time of the game where you got to be kind of smart here. You don't want to give up a touchdown and go down 17, and from the Raiders side, you don't want to let them come any closer. Another nice punt by Kyle. That's got an airline stewardess on board. Holy cow. Xander Bailey takes the ball at his own 35. Finds a hole. Kyle Clark coming up to make the tackle. And luckily enough, I'm not going to tell his father, but he made the tackle. That was a good return by Bailey. He brought the ball back about 27 yards. That's going to give the Raiders another good opening start. They've been close to midfield or in the Rebels territory a few times tonight to start their drives. And a 1st and 10 at the Rebels 47. 1:29 to go in the first half. Score 10-0 Raiders. Yeah, LeBurge in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Williams takes the handoff. We got a penalty flag down. I think number 4 on the Brett Albert from the Raiders was just a little, got his hands outside the frame of the defender, and he'll be called for holding. That'll move the ball back 10 yards. You see in the replay here, number 4 near just right there has got his hands a hold on the jersey, and that's the penalty.
Well, for a halftime show, we'll be welcoming the
So that takes it back 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. So that's going to make it a 1st and 20. Chet should put the ball at approximately the Raiders' 52-yard line. Been a few penalties in this game. It hasn't been a whole bunch, but they're the ones that have impacted, the play offensively and/or defensively, just based on the fact of the timing of the penalty. They had a long touchdown return by Cody Holmes, called back for legal block, and this last punt return by Holmes again called back. They both had penalties. So your starting points, can improve with if you keep the foul part of it out of the game. Same formation, same play. Williams to his right. E.T. on the tackle, and along with number 7, Eric Williams. He just runs to his left, and then picks up 8 yards. One of these ones where you want to work the clock, but you still want to make sure that you're in possession of football and smart with the football. They're in a hurry-up offense. LeBurge in the shotgun. Ball at the 50, Rebels 50. Here's a long pass. That was down to number 4, Brett Albert. Same play that number Eric Williams could have knocked away, but he just didn't get high enough. The last play like that, Buckley knocked it away. So that's going to give the Raiders a 1st and 10. Looks at the Rebels' 13-yard line. So I think here you're going to see the Rebels, time open taken by the Raiders. The Rebels will bring in a little bit more help on the defensive side. That was a good play. They've had a lot of success so far this evening, the Raiders have, trying to throw the ball to the left. They've had guys open. They scored on one of those plays. So it's something they've seen on film that they're going to attack the Raiders' Rebels' right side of the defense. So 1:10 to go here in the first half. Raiders at the football at about the 13-yard line, the Rebels' 13-yard line. LeBurge in the shotgun. Williams to his right, 3 receivers to his left. Again, throwing the ball, putting it up high to Mike West here. And a touchdown throw. That was a beautiful throw, and that was called because when LeBurge dropped back, he was looking the whole way to West. And Mike's strong hands keeps a hold of that football. So that makes the score Raiders 16, Rebels nothing with the convert to come with 44.3 seconds left in the half. Just one of those plays. It's just, get in the end zone. I'm going to throw it up. If nobody catches it, we go with another down. But the only guy that can catch it is the receiver. There's the convert is good by Jacob Normore. That makes the score 17-0. I think the Rebels might be caught a little bit flat-footed on this. I think they felt that they can, come out and dominate this game. They have that type of attitude within their organization. But the Raiders are a proud organization. And then the interesting thing about it is, Doug Hawking, head coach of the Raiders, coached here with the Rebels in 2016, and defensive coordinator Karen Mayer, he was played for the Rebels back before the franchise was granted up in Nanaimo, and so there is a connection. But it's just a good old island rivalry where these two teams are trying to decide who runs this island. It's because it comes down to a lot about the press as well as recruiting. If you want to go to Nanaimo or you come to Victoria, and then usually the team that is successful on the field is going to be the one that draws the most kids. So the Raiders are setting up the kickoff from right to left. More ready placing the ball. Kane Stevenson and Cody Holmes deep for the Rebels. A low little kick. I don't know why he didn't run, but smart thing to do, I guess. Number 53 gets his name in the on the stats. That was Tyree Russell. Gets a chance to be in there for a kickoff return. Unfortunately, we'll say 0 yards, but so that's going to give the Rebels a football at 1st and 10 at their 29-yard line. You got to be careful here. You don't want to throw the ball, have it picked off. You want to use the clock, try to get into halftime with no more damage. So I think you might see, I don't know, unless Mason Brown's do a bit of running maybe, but they may be just saying, hey, let's go after this, see if we can score before the half. Rolling to his left. He's got a hole this side, that's for sure. Oh, that was a nice play. That was a smart read by Kyle Williams with Mason dropping the ball off to him, but number 9, he got across there. Jared Breedy really quick to make that tackle. And you see Breedy in the middle. He's chased all the way to his right, and then he's got to sprint all the way back to the left. Tackle coming in. So that brings up, that was a loss of 1. So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 11. But clock running this time. I think they'll use all this clock to get down to be able to possibly run out first half. They've got to snap the ball well under 20 seconds, so they should be able to kneel down on the next play. The Browns still in the shotgun. I think, boy, if I'm throwing the football, I don't want to give it up. Give it to Kane Stevens for a 1st down completion pass. I'm going to pick up about 20 yards. Put a flag down. Lights on here at the stadium now, and 13 seconds left in the first half. 17-0 Raiders. And a penalty flag. That could be against the Raiders for a face mask or something maybe, which would be number 26. That's Riley Caljow got called for unnecessary roughness. That could put the Rebels with 13 seconds into an area where they might be able to come away with some points here. Clock won't start until the snap of the football, so they should be able to get 2 good plays in, maybe 3 if they're quick. The Raiders have to just play some smart defense, play their deep guys, their deep DBs deep, and keep the receivers in front of them. There, that Brown with his feet, that's what he's known for. Unfortunately, he's going to run out of territory here when the clock runs out of bounds. Now you got 1.5 seconds. I think you might, if I'm Coach Beatty, I think I'm trying a field goal here. I'm not sure where their ball is going to be placed at. It looks like it's about the 25-yard line, so you could be looking at about a 30-yard line, so you'd be a 37-yard field goal. 1.5 seconds left. And obviously the Raiders, if it's wide, Sean Araskby, number 6, is deep, will run this ball out. Kyle Clark in to try the field goal. Snaps down. Kick is wide to the right. At the edge, and you get out. There you go. Araskby gets out of the end zone. Good coverage from the Rebels, but it's not good enough. And that's your first half with the score. Vancouver Island Raiders 17, Westshore Rebels nothing. Interesting first half. The Raiders started out with a lot of success. They drove the ball, with a lot of authority, but then the game kind of bogged down. There were a few penalties, some misplays, and it always comes back to penalties and turnovers. Rebels turned the ball over a couple of times, and Raiders turned the ball over, I know, once on a fumble. But it should call for a very, very entertaining second half as both these guys will go in the change room, make their adjustments, get a little bit of water, and just make it work for the second half.
Once again, we all the halftime people, the alumni people down there, the cheerleading team. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Kilowatts killing the crap out of Campbell.
Oh, Kamloops is winning 24-0 in the half.
Over kilowatt?
24-10.
Wow. Can you do something officially for me, sir? Tell the guy that's playing the music and not the rifle. I can't hear you through his face. Yeah, well, the coaches want to know the number, and every time he tries to talk, music's on or he's talking, and I get him trying to get the sponsors in and da-da-da-da. Just let him do his thing, wait 5 seconds, and get it next time.
Please welcome your Westshore Rebel cheerleaders.
Coast Capital's role is we're the tour sponsor of the Canadian Cancer Society's Cops for Cancer tour. It's a cause that's really important to a lot of our staff. I mean, who hasn't been touched by cancer?
I've had a lot of family members affected by cancer. Knowing that all that I watched my family members go through when they fought this disease, you would never ever want a child to have to face that.
This is an opportunity that we can work towards a cause to make the lives of kids who are suffering from cancer just a little bit better, even for a short period of time, by sending them to camp.
Camp Good Times is one of the most amazing parts of being a Cops for Cancer rider.
Every single year, the tour actually gets the opportunity to go to camp, and it is a magical place.
I would just say, after you spend time at Camp Good Times, two things change forever. Your definition of what is courage is never the same, and your definition of I've had a bad day is never ever the same. And every time you're climbing a tough hill, you know this is really nothing compared to what the children and their families go through.
And that's what helps me. I just think of the battle they have to battle, and it's really not comparable.
Coast Capital's promise is to build a richer future for youth. That's why this particular campaign is such a good fit for us.
Having Coast Capital involved is so helpful, and just having a good, consistent, strong sponsor allows you to be a much bigger help for families.
Our staff do an amazing job of spearheading some excellent fundraising campaigns, and they're just extremely passionate about this cause. These kids are going through so much, and what a better opportunity to sort of help them through that journey that they're going on and build a better future for them.
Give me a kiss. I love you.
22-year-old Khalil James has a little more on his plate than most of his Westshore Rebel teammates.
When I had Callie, it completely changed my life. Like, just becoming literally from a boy to a man, and having Callie was the best thing ever in my life, literally.
Earlier in the year, Khalil was recruited by the Rebels and moved his entire family, including 2-year-old Callie, to the island.
So welcome. This is my home.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're gonna leave us? What's gonna happen? And he's like, so, like, what do you think about coming? And I was like, whoa, you want me to move across, like, the continent with you? I'm like, all right.
It was challenging at first, just to figure out everything that we needed, like, just to get here.
I'm from Toronto, so we don't see, like, mountains, we don't see, like, pretty beaches, and there's lots of, like, parks for the kid, which I just loved.
On the field, James is stepping into a big role, with Jamel Lyles and Trey Campbell posting MVP caliber seasons at running back in previous years.
But it's kind of a good pressure. It's just knowing that I have so much to fulfill that, I mean, I don't really have a choice but to, right? So kudos to Trey and Jamil. They're two really good players, and I plan to continue to the legacy of the running backs on this team.
After taking a full year off of football due to family issues and the birth of Callie, James returned to the field in week 1 and scored a touchdown in his first game back.
And finds the end zone easily untouched as he walks it in.
Man, it was the best feeling ever. Like, especially being out for a year and just coming back and just playing and scoring your first game is probably like the most exciting thing for a player. So it was a really good game. We're gonna tear it up this season? Yeah.
With his family by his side, Khalil James will look to cement his legacy as a Rebel.
Wasn't that long ago he's got these alumni games with players in the off-season, pre-season will take on the alumni. You can imagine that. And these were very spirited games. Chester's out there. I'm going to get you a whole list of those too. Come on, guys, you deserve it.
Yeah, I'm looking after the guys in black and white. Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. Usually you're out there. Not for these guys, no. The
Westshore Rebels for running back.
I got a kid, like, you know, all that. So, you know, it's not like football. No. If I want to come back to the film, I kind my film and stuff. I do what we do.
Those guys
I got enough my
shirts. Westshore Rebels.
Yeah, you guys
football. Dolphins.
TELUS presents mind-blowing pure fiber facts. Today's topic, watch and record 4K at the same time. Can't decide which of your favorite 4K shows to watch, Susan? Well, with pure fiber, you can watch and record 4K simultaneously. TELUS Pure Fiber. TV reimagined.
Welcome back, football fans, to West Hill Stadium here in Langford, British Columbia for the BCFC game between the Vancouver Island Raiders and the hometown Westshore Rebels. Our halftime score, 17-0 for the Raiders. A little bit of a surprise, but both teams, you know, they did second half teams. The first action basically for them, you know, they didn't get to practice a lot because of the smoke that was around the area this week, and so you got to get your legs underneath you, find out what's happening. As we know, both the Rebels and Raiders are second half teams, so this isn't over by a long mile for sure. The Raiders had a good opportunity to stretch this game a couple times, I think blow it open a little bit, if you will, but they just missed some passes, and they had a couple defensive plays by the Rebels, but they did work back late in the second quarter to make it 17-0. Mike West and Ellie Nelms Horton scoring the touchdowns for the Raiders, along with a field goal by it was Jacob Normore to make the score 17-0. Start the second half. The Rebels will be kicking off. They'll be kicking from your screens left to right. They're in their hometown red and white, while the Raiders in their away white with black and red trim. Out of town scores tonight. Nearly the halftime score was 24-0 for the Kamloops Broncos over the Valley Huskers, and in Langley, the Langley Rams were leading the Okanagan Sun 10-6 at the half. So a couple interesting scores, especially the Kamloops Chilliwack one, where Chilliwack was leading 10-0 at the end of the first quarter, and Kamloops came back to score 24 unanswered points to take the lead. Here's a short kick by, not sure if some penalties, somebody offside, obviously, from the Rebels, but it was a short kick by Kyle Clark. I can see the offside on the kickoff, but I'm not sure why the penalty's by the sideline, unless somebody on the sideline touched the ball. So I would think that the Raiders will decline this, because that's going to give them the football at about their own 45-yard line, somewhere in there. 40. I'm not sure where the umpire is walking with the football. Captain Jake LeBurge is discussing it with head official Heath Heddleston. Waiting for the official call on what happened on the field. So it's been kind of an interesting BCFC so far this year. There's been comebacks. Here we got the penalty call coming out. Got offside against the Rebels, that was declined. Illegal procedure on the kickoff, that is declined. And that means the clock is going to start on his whistle. So it's 2 penalty against the Rebels on that one, both decline, and it's good to decline them. That gives the Raiders the football, 1st and 10 at their own 49-yard line. That's not a bad place to start the second half. Got LaBerge again in the shotgun, Williams to his left. And he dropped the snap. And I think the whistle blew. They're going to say he was down. He was on his knees when he had to touch the football. Not possession of the football. So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and about 16 for the Raiders. But as I was saying, the BCFC is quite interesting this year. We got the Huskers defeating the Okanagan Sun for the first time in their history, and you got the Raiders coming back on their win last week. And then when the Rebels and Sun tied, the Sun had an opportunity to kick a field goal with inside the 20, but it was missed and salvaged a tie. So it just no real dominant team at this point has come out to say, oh, that's a very nice pass. Now, didn't survive the contact, so we're saying incomplete pass. Yeah, it was a beautiful pass, but you have to, if you catch the ball, you got to make sure that you survive the contact, as they say, even with the ground. You can see on the replay, is right over his shoulder, nobody to catch it but him. When he got pushed, the ball dropped out right there. It was pushed him was number 4, Keshen Kerr. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and 16. Hunchuk into punt. And he's been punting pretty good tonight. He's probably averaging close to 40 a punt. And there's another rocket. That drives Cody Holmes back to his 25-yard line, working to his right. There's a legal block, 35. So he's got his wall. And until he's tackled out of bounds to Justin Kremler. But I think what happened is when they saw the flags, the Raiders knew that it was going to be a penalty, so they just stopped really getting after him. And you got to play the game to the whistle. That's what it's all about. But I think he got a legal block there on number 35. That was, everybody saw that. Aiden Enns Horvath just got a little bit of his hip into the back of the Raiders defender. Unless there's 2 penalties on the play, but got a hold against the Rebels. That's what they called. I don't know if it was holding. I think it's just a legal block. But it definitely will move the ball back. Got a hold against the Rebels. That'll move the ball back 10 yards, so they'll be scrimmaging. I think probably if it's where the flag went down, then they'll be at their 20. I'm not sure. I think the umpire is still trying to figure out where it was the block. Legal block happened, so there you move back 10 yards from the 25, put the ball on the 15-yard line. It'll be Rebels football. 1st and 10 from their 15 with 13:44 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and the Raiders still out in front by a score of 17-0. Yeah, it's been a pretty calm game, considering that these teams talk about each other a lot. They really do. There's a lot of, over the years, it's just they don't talk about anybody else but playing against each other. And that has slowly waned. Some of the guys have just sort of said, we just got to play football. Let's just go play. Now there's a little dump-off pass to Khalil Williams. He gets knocked down by Durvan McNally Hardesty after a good gain with 27 yards. It was like a little screen pass. He worked to his left and came back, and he had a couple guys in front of him. He just working. Then McNally Hardesty, you got to come in low. You got to take that guy on high. So that's 1st and 10. Ball at the Rebels 36-yard line. Brown in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to his left. Looking to his left. Throws to Kane Stevenson, who tries to make a one-handed catch. I'm not sure. Number 29, Jeremy Chang, was there. I'm not sure if that would have been much of a gain, but the pass was a little bit over his head. Got a hand on it. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Yeah, the Rebels still, in my opinion, they're still trying to find what their identity is offensively. They throw the ball okay, they run the ball okay, but at this point there hasn't been anything in the 3 games I've seen them play that they can really hang their hat on at this point. But the guy behind center, he can make it work with his arms and feet. He is such an athlete. There's a little pass out to Isaiah Karlikia, again incomplete. Working to his left. It's hard being a right-handed quarterback and throw the ball to your left unless you've got your shoulders and hips square to the line of scrimmage. It's a very difficult throw. So that's going to be an incomplete pass. It's going to put it to 3rd down and 10. Punting situation, Kyle Clark into punt, and again Xander Bailey, number 2, and number 6, Sean Abrathsky, deep for the Raiders. This might be an area where Coach John Karlicki, who coaches the punt team, might say, hey, we got a fake here. Maybe this is the area they're not going to suspect anything. But Coach Hawking knows Coach John quite well, so he understands. That's a punt off the side of the foot of Kyle, and it turns out to be about a 10, 17-yard punt. That's going to give the Raiders pretty good field position here to start their drive at the Rebels' 51-yard line. It's unfortunate because sometimes you're in a situation like that and you're just trying so hard to make that really good punt, to push them to the sideline, because that's what you want to do. You want to squeeze the field so your defenders can use the sideline as that extra man on the field. And sometimes you try too hard and it just goes off the side of your foot. But no harm, no foul. They didn't score on any play, so the Raiders have an opportunity here to do something, and the Rebels just dig in defensively to say, we want that ball back. With 11:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. I think this is too long in the huddle. That's a too long in the huddle penalty. But with the smoke, and also, with the smoke changes, there's a lot of things like here in Victoria, that's a very rare to happen here. And I see a lot of people this week walking around with, little masks on and things. I even saw a couple Chihuahuas. They had a specially designed Chihuahua mask, they called them. And the dog he was happy. Chihuahuas, their tails are wagging all the time. But you got to protect them. You can't let them out in the smoke. That was a Burge in the shotgun. Quick little pass to Nelms Horton. It falls incomplete. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 16. Sorry, 2nd down and 15. Ball at the Raiders' 54-yard line. But it is a good lesson. If you have Chihuahuas, you got to protect them. And they're just little guys. Hey, you got to love them. Oh, man. Get those big eyes and everything. But yeah, you can't let them out. You can't let them out when it's smoky. Or even when it's raining. All right, 2nd down and 15. The Burge back to pass. Again, just overthrowing his receiver. He's done that about 3 or 4 times tonight. Just out of the reach of Nelms Horton there. But again, the pressure from the Rebels forces a little bit quicker pass than you want to do. And that brings up the 3rd down and 15. And again, that short little punt didn't really hurt the Rebels other than from a field position standpoint. There's Hunchuk here. He's been punting. He's had so many high punts tonight. I think the balls have to be put in an oven to cool them down because they've been up in the higher atmosphere with the ice. And there's another one. Oh, my gosh. Good punt. That was a very good punt. Put it out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. That pins the Rebels with a starting point where they got a long way to go. Still 10:44 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Raiders still leading 17-0. Yeah, next week is a league-wide bye. The reason for that, one of the reasons for that, is hard travel, especially for the island teams. Getting on and off Vancouver Island with the Labor Day weekend. It's the busiest weekend in DC Ferries have. And so they decide to have a league-wide bye. It's almost the halfway point of the season. And then after the bye, all the teams that play tonight, they just switch where they're going to be playing next week or the next game. So the Rebels will be in Nanaimo on the 8th. Here's a pitch to Williams. Made McNally Hardesty miss. Really nice move. McNally Hardesty went low and Phil Williams just stepped to his left and made a miss. If you can see on the replay here, number 7 cuts in from the defense's left side. And he goes low, and Williams has just said, I'm going left. Whoop, see ya. That was a very nice play. But then the Okanagan Sun will host, it'll be their first home game. of the season because of I think they were fixing the track up in the Apple Bowl. They weren't allowed into the stadium, so they're going to host the Rams, and Chilliwack will be traveling to Kamloops, and that'll be the switch game that happened tonight with Chilliwack coming to Kamloops, or Kamloops coming to Chilliwack due to the smoke in the Kamloops area. So the league is hoping that there's no smoke 2 weeks from now when we can make that game happen. That was a short gain. It's going to bring up very short. I think if I was the Rebels here, I'm not sure where I'm going for this. I think I might punt the ball. You don't want to turn it over here. 9:26 to go in the third quarter. Clock running. Looks like they're going for it. I would suspect this will be a Williams, just a handoff, because Brown will be under the center. I think he'll just follow Hans Horvath. No, it's a quarterback keeper, and he fall forward for first down, look like. I'm not sure where the marker is. The head linesman is signaling first down. So that's going to give the Rebels a 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line, 32-yard line. Going to put a bit of a drive here. It's not desperate right yet. There's still 8.5 minutes to go in the quarter. But they got to try to make something out of this. And for the Raiders, you got to play just some smart defense, keep everything in front of them. The longer the clock keeps running, it's in the Raiders' favor here. There's Brown on the design, just quarterback keeper. No, he just throws that away. I think that's going to be intentional grounding. I would suspect to be a flag on that. No, they're calling it second down. Are they calling that he got tackled? I'm not sure. He just threw this away, and I thought for sure they would call that intentional grounding because the ball, maybe they said the ball crossed the line of scrimmage, so that'll bring an incomplete pass. That'll bring up second down and 10. Like I said, it's a good crowd here tonight. There's Red Arrow beers here, tremendous tasting beer. And they got a really good crowd. It's for an alumni night for the team. It's not a bad night. It's no wind, no smoke. It's just a pleasant, it's kind of a mild evening, not too hot. It's not cold. And since there's no wind, there's not that cool, so it's mild. And you just got to love junior football on a Saturday night anywhere in the country. Hey, Rebels second down and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Raiders playing deep. Arofsky really deep at center field. Brown takes the snap. Coming over the middle to Holmes. It's another one. Again, both quarterbacks are just a little bit high on some of their passes. And Mason, that one was over Cody's head. Difficult throw. The coverage was there. But as I was saying earlier, there's a clock in your head that's telling you got to get rid of the football because you only have so much time to throw. And you work on that as much as you can in practice, but when the guys are rushing you in practice, they're not coming to get after you. They're just coming to make you think about it. But these guys that you play against are coming after to get you. They want to put you on the ground. Here, Kyle Clark to punt. And again, Xander Bailey, number 2, and Sean Arofsky, number 6, deep for the Raiders. Beautiful snap. And a high punt, not very deep. That should get to the sideline, and that'll give the Raiders a good starting point. And it looks like at about the Rebels' 49-yard line. Again, we got 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Rebels still leading 17-0. Yeah, as I mentioned before, Jake LaBerge was Player of the Week last week. He had a great game lead in the Rebels or the Raiders on that comeback against the Rams. And tonight he's doing okay. He missed a couple of deep passes that could have been completed, but again, it's it's early in the season, and those are things you got to work on them. Mike West is having a good game. Elms Horton's having a good game on the receiving end. There's Rhett Williams on an off-tackle play to the right. Again, number 15, Rashawn Provo, was there to make the tackle. He's all over the field, that kid. He's got some speed, and he's very, very strong. You don't get out of his grip if he gets a hand on you. But again, it moves moves the ball up a couple, 3 yards, and it's again the clock is in the favor at this point of the Raiders. And you get an opportunity now to, you're going to throw the football. Generally, you do on 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. You got Williams to his left. He's got a balanced set. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Here's going down the middle outside. Oh, he had number 80 going down right down the middle, wide open. That was Jared Braun was wide open, and he threw to number 20. I think it was 39. Jason Henderson on the quick out, and just fortunately incomplete. But yeah, Braun's right down the seam, down the middle, wide open. But the play obviously was designed to pull some guys and then throw the little dump off pass. So Hunchuk in to punt again, a good snap. And a wobbly punt, but it's a deep one to Kane Stevenson at about his 10. And a host of Raiders come up, make the play, and we had looks like another penalty on the play maybe. That might go against number 29, Jeremy Chang. We'll have to look at that. But again, number 42, Ethan Moran was in on the tackle. He's pretty quick getting downfield. His assignment is to come down and make sure the punt returner catches the football, and then you keep him inside you. And if you're first down with your speed, you can oftentimes make that tackle. So again, the officials are talking. It looks like it might be against the Rebels, the way they're walking back a little bit farther. Unnecessary roughness against the Rebels. Unfortunately, those are the penalties. Again, they're 15-yard penalties, and they hurt. That's a lot of yardage you got to make up, and it just creates a longer field. It's going to put the ball, looks like, back on about the 5-yard line. I didn't see the penalty on the replay, but a lot of times somebody will just do something just at the tail end of a play, and you don't really see it. But the officials, they're all eagle eyes. I know some of them wear glasses because some of these guys out here. But no, I was coaching in the mid-1980s, early 80s, and some of these guys were on the field. So they've been doing this a long time. So Rebels 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line. Brown in the shotgun. It's a handoff to, that looked like Kane Stevenson on the coming around. Or come around, I guess it's called. I think. Was that number 2? Yeah, that was Kane Stevenson. And that's a play that they run. They put him in motion, and it's called like a jet sweep type thing. I think down in the States they call it a wildcat. So it's one of those things that the quick handoff, just see what you can get. Give the ball to one of your better runners, and he just makes people miss. So he picked up 5. That's a good gain. That gives you a little bit of working room here, away from your end zone. Brown to Williams. Just a very nice play by Brody Taylor, number 98. He held his ground. He took the fight on, and it didn't have anywhere for Williams to go. You can see in the replay here, Brody, number 98, he's just standing up, and he just stays square the line of scrimmage. He knows it's coming at him. Stay square, make the tackle, hold on. That was a very nice play. So that's going to give the Rebels, there was a loss of about 2 on the play, so they'll bring up the 3rd and 7. From about the 6-yard line, 7-yard line. Again, Bailey looks like the only receiver deep for the Rebels at this time. Or sorry, for the Raiders. And Kyle Clark in his end zone. 4 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Clock running. I'm not sure you want to give up points here. You don't want to go down 19, but that's what they're doing, giving up the safety. And it's not a bad play. It's not a good play. It's not a bad play. It's just you're down 17, and that's 3 scores. Now you got to get 4 scores. And at the minute, if you're not going to score touchdowns, just you got to get 4 scores. That puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit and gives the ball back to the Raiders. Like I was saying, the Rebels just seem to be out of sync a little bit tonight, and they just don't have that same energy that you see in some of the games they play. Again, I just blame that on the weather we've had lately. So the Rebels, I would think the Raiders will ask them to kick off, which it looks like they are, so they'll be kicking off from their own 35-yard line. You're going to have number 80, Jared Braun, going deep, along with number 3, Deshaun Dingwell, and I think that's 15, North Rainey on the far side. Yes, it is. And Kyle Clark teeing it up. That's the score, makes the score 19-0 with 4:44 to go here in the third quarter. Kyle steps into the ball, kicks it to number 15, Rainey. He just follows his blocking right up the middle. Get what you can get. Well, he finds a bit of a crease there. And it turns it back up to the 35 or the 55-yard line, and I don't see any orange flags on the field, so it was a clean return. A short field here for the Raiders as they start at the 55. Not if everybody heard over this past week that head coach Charlie Cartalicchia had been suspended by the BCFC for remarks he had that were published in the Kamloops This Week newspaper about the cancellation last week, and it's unfortunate. But the BCFC had a plan, and what it does is it also drives the BCFC into developing some sort of protocol for weather and air quality and different things like that. And that's a nice pass, zip pass right into Nelms Horton's hand. Pick up about 10 yards for first down. But BCFC's got to develop some sort of policy that's going to deal with it, this smoke from forest fires, because that might be the norm, or we might be in a situation where there's a warehouse fire that contains some chemicals and different things. How are we going to deal with that? What is the notice period? How do we deal with getting teams? If they have to stay overnight, they get trapped or whatever it is. But that's something that'll be developed over the next little while. So we can, moving forward, we try to eliminate some of the negative things that came out of that last week's cancellation of the game. Here's Rhett Williams on first down for a loss, and that was number 9 in there, number 8, that was Byron McKinnon. Again, a great linebacker for the Rebels in his third year, Mount Doug player. So once this policy is developed, and obviously it's going to go in front of everybody, so everybody agrees to it. So when game time rolls around, you don't have one side saying it's not good and the other side saying it's good, and you eliminate those little problems and discussions at the time. Burge back to pass. They got Braun wide open again, just over the head. You just can't get that, hook those long ones up. But again, that was Rebels pressure that had him thrown off his back foot. And what that does is it makes the ball sail high out of your hand, so it kind of floats rather than zips in on a tight spiral on a proper arc. So that's going to bring up third down. Here's a chance with 2 minutes and 59 seconds to go, and Raiders up 19-0. They get a chance here to pin the Rebels deep in their own end. The ball at the company from the Rebels 46-yard line. Hunchuk. Oh, I thought he was gonna try to throw it. There is a mistake if you're looking from the Raiders sideline. That's one of those things that kind of wakes another team up, and I'm sure the coaching staff on the Raiders side will be saying, "What are you doing?" And I think it's just a high snap here. I don't know if this was designed, but I think he kind of panicked a little bit because the pressure came real fast. So this is something the Rebels can take advantage of. But I'm sure Mr. Hunchuk, somebody will be talking to him on the sideline about, let's punt the ball. Gonna relax. Okay, named Mason Brown in the shotgun here. Rebels with the ball, 1st and 10 at the Raiders' 54-yard line. One of their best starting points of a drive for the Rebels this evening. Back to pass. Nice pass right down. Just a quick little, what they call a post seam to Kane Stevenson. He comes down, he picks up about 27 yards, 28 yards on the completion. You can see he's at the top of the screen. He just runs what they call a skinny post right down the middle, and he runs it right in front of the safety. And Brown put it where only Kane could catch the football. So that gives the Rebels a 1st and 10 at their 32-yard line, at the Raiders' 32-yard line. This is just short of where they were. There's Khalil Williams again up the middle. Nice cutback. There's tackle by number 45. That was Matthew Hill again. That's going to give the Rebels a decent gain. That picked up about 7 yards. I think it's the deepest they got it into Raiders territory this evening. One of the other things about coming to junior football is the music that some of these guys play. It's just great. Gets the crowd fired up. We get to do some singing as well. 2nd and 3. It's Williams again. Up the middle. He's met pretty hard for little or no gain. That was by number 49 on that tackle. That was Todd Campbell. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down, and I'm pretty sure Coach Beatty's going to say, we're going for this. Clock is running, coming up on 45 seconds left in the quarter. Raiders up 19-0. Yeah, they're going for it, so you're going to Brown in the shotgun. Williams and Jens Horvath in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right. Just a quick little pass. That's for a 1st down. That was caught by Nick Filato made that catch. That brings up a 1st and 10. They're at about the 15-yard line, Raiders 15-yard line. Just a little turn in, catch the ball, find the seam in the hole in the zone. Brown to the outside. To Cody Holmes. Makes the catch, drives forward for a pickup of looks like about 8 yards, 7 yards. And that's the quarter. So as I go back to Coach Karlickia, with the suspension, President Rob Lervold named Shane Beatty defensive coordinator, their head coach. And Shane's been here. This is his 3rd year with the Rebels. He used to play for the Rebels in the Rebels organization when they were called Victoria Payless. He coaches like he used to play, on the edge, very vocal. Yeah, good coach, good football coach. But he was the head coach of the Okanagan Sun for 3 years, from 2013 to 15. And 2013 he took 2015 he took the Sun to the Canadian Bowl in Saskatoon. They ended up losing. They had a good game, but ended up losing the game. So Shane's he's got a lot of knowledge about football, and losing Coach Charlie, it's a blow. But as a team, it's like anything. Anybody, you get an injury, everybody's got to sort of rally up and do their thing, and that's what the coaching staff has done, and they're doing what they can do tonight to try to win this football game. So the start of the 4th quarter, you got the Rebels at about looks like the 7-yard line on a 2nd down and 3. Long 2, Brown under center, hands off to Williams, finds his little hole. That's going to be a touchdown. He ran into some traffic up front, but cut quickly to his right where the hole was and walked across the goal line standing up. That was not a bad little run there. That's his 2nd touchdown this season. Now you get the extra point on here with Kyle Clark coming in. That makes the score 19-6 with 14 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter. Just turn over the start of the 4th. Kick is up, and it goes into the pond. The kick makes the score 19-7 for the Raiders here in the 4th quarter. I hope you're enjoying BCFC TV. Every week we put the games on, and we just love it when people tune in to watch, because this is good football action. These guys are trying hard. A lot of these guys get an opportunity to showcase their skills as they try for scholarships to schools in Canada and the United States. And then you got guys like Andrew Harris, Doug Hawking. There's a whole bunch of, but just those 2 right now that they step right out of junior into the CFL, and they just get that opportunity. And it's a place where the kids can be part of the community. They get out there and they're helping their hospitals, they're going to schools, they're helping little kids at camps and different things. And that's what it's all about. The junior football is about community football, because it isn't professional. And so the more support they get, either by fans viewing in on the internet or coming out to actual games, is tremendous for these kids. So get Kyle Clark teeing it up. And again, they get Rainey deep along with Jared Braun. That's a great kickoff, driving Braun back to about his 5-yard line. Finds his hole. It's a tremendous tackle. Aiden Inns Horvath just coming right, slicing in from his right, from Braun's left to make the tackle. And the replay here, the kick drove him right back towards 5-yard line, but Inns Horvath just cutting in, makes the tackle, wraps him up. It's probably one of the, after a kickoff anyway, one of the deeper starts for the Raiders this evening. They're at their own 25-yard line. Clock running, 14:40 to go here in the final quarter. LeBurge in his traditional shotgun. Now you watch it line up, and no, he didn't. Now a handoff to Williams on the draw. Drop the football. And I think that's what I think Provo dropped on that football. I'm not sure if he ripped it out, but I'm not sure why he didn't go down on the ground there. I know you're always trying. But see on the replay, just a great call on that for a draw. And he gets hit low, but he keeps his feet going, and that's number 20. I think it was number 26. Created a fumble, Tyree Dunn, and Rashawn Provo jumped on it. It's a big turnover, huge turnover. Rebels just score, and they get the ball back with the very next play. In pretty decent position out at the Rebels' 36-yard line. And this is traditionally for the Rebels. They like this fourth quarter comeback. It's kind of like they wake up and say, okay, we can play. And then they create some of the turnovers. They do some positive things. And this is a huge turnover. You know, they score here, you're back in this game. You're only down by 5. A couple injuries on the field. Number 9. That's Leonardo Ingram coming off under assistance. And I didn't get the other fellow that was down. He's being helped off by the trainers and looks to be in a little bit more pain than Ingram is. But a huge turnover for the Rebels. It's going to give, I guess, give them the football at the 34-yard line. Referee whistles it in, and Brown's in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers to his left. Williams in the backfield next to him. Gives it to Williams up the middle, and again not Brody Taylor, number 90, Garrett Breedy making the tackle. It's a gain of 2 yards, going to bring up a 2nd and 8. Isaiah Karlickia coming into the huddle with a new play. Isaiah is Charlie's son, and it's the Rebels have, I think probably for the first time, 3 active Karlickias, 3 generations active with the Rebel team. I think it's probably a first across the country. There's Brown on the design, and there's a fumble. Ball's out. Looks like the Raiders, they picked it up. That was number 45 that recovered the ball, Matthew Hill. Yeah, I think on that play, Mason tried to move to his left, and they jumped a little bit, and I think he got hit from the bottom up, and I think they got his elbow because that ball went so high. As you see here, it's a design quarterback draw. Yeah, he just got the ball popped right up, and Hill jumps on it and saves the day for the Raiders, if you will. Good opportunity for the Rebels, lost, but for the Raiders, it's a chance to say, okay, we fumbled, so it's our turn. So LeBurge again in the shotgun, and I think there's a timeout call by the Rebels. They were missing a player, so they had to call the timeout. They were missing number 7, Eric Williams. Defensive back. Yeah, so not a bad game so far. In the score, it's still really close when you consider it's 19-7. This is an important drive for the Raiders, I think. At this point of the game, you can use up a lot of clock, and you can also, if you get a chance to score that, I'm not saying puts a nail in, but it makes it very difficult for the Rebels to come back. But with that said, the Raiders last week were down 31-7 entering the fourth quarter, and they came back to win that game and scoring 28 points in the last 12 minutes. So it has been done. And the Raiders also felt that type of score on them in the game against the Huskers in the first game of the season when the Huskers came back, and I think they scored 31 points in the second half to win that game. So they felt both sides of it. The happiness of doing it and the what are you doing when you do it gets done to you. All right, after the timeout, first down, Raiders at their own 27-yard line. Bird in shotgun. Throws one up for Hugh Rainey. Not bad coverage. That was by number 25, Riley Kaljau. It was good coverage. I don't think he saw the ball coming in. I think he just watched Rainey's eyes. Again, one of those passes that could have been caught, but again, just out of the reach at the very end here. You can see as he jumped. Yeah, just he had his hand looked like pulled down. So good coverage. Kaljau made a good play on it. I'm sorry, that was Kaljau. That was Corey Fletcher. I apologize. Kane Stevenson in here playing deep cornerback here on this side of the field at second down. Another pitch and catch that without the catch from LaBerge to Nelms Horton. Easy play, I thought would have picked up a first down, but just right through Nelms Horton's hand. So that's going to bring up a third down and 10 at the Raiders 27-yard line. 13:08 to go here in the fourth quarter. Raiders still leading 19-7. Hunchuk the punt. It's a low spiraling drive right into Nick Falco, but he's unable to hold the ball. And when that happens, you get many guys coming down the tackle. They're led by number 43. That's Ugri, making the tackle, along with number 94, Dylan Neufeld. You see on the replay here, just bounced off his face mask. And as you go down to pick it up, those guys are converging very, very quickly, and they're coming in there very, very angry. So you can see number 43, that's Reese Ugri, grabbing the first guy and holding on. Looks like Nick got hurt on that play. Yeah, trainer out. He's might have the wind knocked out of you sometimes, and then or just a little tweak in the knee or the ankle. You need a little bit of time just to do some deep breathing and say, okay, I'm ready to go. And so we got 12:52 to go, and the ball could be Rebels' first down at their own 42-yard line. Haven't seen much of the Sean Greenaway tonight. I don't think they've even targeted him. There's a nice pitch and catch to Cody Holmes. He was blowing dead. It looks like for a gain of about maybe 5. Yeah, nice pass. That was a good pass by Brown. I had a lot of zip on it. And again, the quicker you get the football to your playmakers, then they can make the plays, but they can't do anything without the football. So that brings up second down. 5 yards to go. 12:15, clock running left in the fourth quarter. 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left, 2 running backs in the backfield. Brown in the shotgun. Great catch. That was a great catch over the middle. That was the number 11. That's his first catch today. Austin Lindau-Brown. That was a good pass. Wait for a first down to the 50-yard line. You can see in the replay here, Mason stepped right into this pass. Step forward, throw it, and some zip. Nobody's catching that except the guy you threw it to. So the deep out to Greenaway. Nice catch. Went up really high to make that catch. And number 42 comes in, Ethan Moran, and takes his legs out. That's the first time Deshaun's been targeted this evening on a pass. You can see in the replay, he threw it high, and he had just jumped everybody for that ball. And again, held on, take a good tumble onto the turf. Short gain, but moving the football. Bringing up second down and long 6. Mason Brown in the shotgun, 3 receivers to his right. Ball batted up. Oh, I'm not sure who got his hands on that. That might have been number 90. Jarrett Breedy. That brings up third down. Rebels will be punting here. Good chance to pin the Raiders deep. Or you pull that fake out of your back pocket now. But I know Coach Hawking, he's smarter than that. He coached with this team a couple years ago, so he knows a lot how John Karlicka thinks as a special teams coach. Paul Clark deep, and Arapsky and Bailey deep for the Raiders. Bailey got about his 18, took the ball, get Mitch out of it. Had a flag down, not sure, that's probably for a legal block, I would think. Yeah, just your easy play, 35-yard punt, good coverage, limit the return. Raiders made the play by making sure that they held on to the football. And I got a rough play. Face mask called against the Rebels. Another one of those inopportune time to take a penalty. So it's going to give the Raiders a 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. This is where you might see the Raiders start to run the ball a little bit more. The Burge in the shotgun, and he proves me wrong. That play's been open all night, and that's a nice play by Elms Horton. Turned that into a long touchdown run. That was a very nice play. They've been trying that a couple times tonight, and they've overthrown him or they've gone through his hands, and they make that one work. That'll increase the lead right now to 25-7 with 10:20 to go in the fourth quarter. You see on the replay here, just a design play, throw it to him. You got to throw it to him. Get in his hands and let him run. Let the playmakers make the plays. He just outruns the entire defense of the Rebels. So that kind of deflates any hopes you had of the positive things you took out of the last couple of drives. It just means you got to dig deeper and got to make sure you get possession of the football to score a few more times. Convert is good, and that makes the score Vancouver Island Raiders 27 and the Westshore Rebels, 26 and the Westshore Rebels 7. With 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. If the Raiders hang on to win this one, which I'm not saying they will, but it's hard to roll the dice against the Rebels because they do have that ability to come back. But it'll be their 24th win over the Rebels in regular season play, and that would improve their record to 24 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. But more importantly, it's a confidence builder for them after coming in here last year and winning the Cullen Cup to say that we can do that again. Because it was it's been 2 years since they come in here in regular season play and won a game. They had a tie, but they haven't won since 16. There's the kickoff. And it's deep, and that's taken by Kane Stevenson, working to his left. Just run out of real estate real quick on that one. Good coverage, and again, number 43, it was Reese Ugri in on the tackle. He's been a pretty good special teams guy tonight. He's been all over the field and very quick downfield. So the Rebels got a bit of a hole to dig themselves out of. Got to score a touchdown. That's the first thing on the menu. You got to score a touchdown, and then you see what happens. So this drive, in my opinion, is pretty important. And they got a 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. You might see the Raiders defensive backs playing a little bit deeper. They're going to give you that 10 to 12-yard stuff over the middle, but that keeps the clock rolling, and it also keeps them in front of you. So you got to make sure that what you're doing things to manage the clock without passes to the outside, and you get the ball to your playmakers. This is not a bad run by Mason. That was a good tackle by number 51. Again, I don't have him on my roster. I'm not sure who he is. But Mason picked up about 5 yards. I think he got out of bounds on the play. That stops the clock briefly, so there's a bit of time. But now you're in a manageable down and distance, 2nd and 5. At the start of the game, you keep the defense guessing, are we going to run or are we going to throw? But in a situation like this, you got to run, you got to pass. Got to keep the ball in the air. And the Raiders know that. They're going to be bringing all their heat. They're going to blitz. That was Deshaun. He's saying he's out of bounds on that one. I thought he got a foot down, but the official, Nigel Bush, was right there, the deep judge. That brings up a 3rd down and 5. I think this might be the time of the game where the Rebels will be trying to go for it here. Offense is still on the field. No, change their mind. They're going to bring the punting team out. Still a lot of time, 9:15 to go, so you can create some opportunities, but if you turn the ball over there, if you don't get the 1st down, Raiders can run some time off the clock and possibly come out at least with a field goal maybe. But I think this is a good move. You get Kyle Clark to punt it away and let your coverage team go down and maybe create a turnover. Nice snap right onto his hip. High punt. Xander Bailey, number 2, underneath it. Unfortunately, no yard penalty. That's going to move the ball into Rebel territory for the no yards, a 15-yard penalty. So they'll probably be starting at the Rebels' 51-yard line after the penalty call. So this is set up if the Raiders hang on to win this one, that'll move the record to 3 wins and a loss. And for the Rebels, that'll even the record to 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. And I said earlier that the bye next week, and these two teams meet again 2 weeks hence up in Nanaimo, Caledonia Park. So make sure you tune in if you can't make the drive up or the drive over or the drive down. Got just under 9 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter, and that comes down to crunch time. The clock's going to be moving pretty quick. Rebels like to see it tick very slow, but the Raiders will be, well, mind you, they've proven me wrong tonight. I thought they'd be running the ball at some points, and they come out passing. But LeBurge is a good passer. Passed for 1,751 yards last year on the year, 17 touchdowns. Oh, that was a nice catch. Hugh Rainey jumped up. North Rainey, I'm sorry. His name's Hugh, but he likes to be called North. He just outreached the arms of Eric Williams to make that catch. And again, very, very strong. You see on the play here, LeBurge got pressure right off the start, so he had to move to his right. And he put the ball up high enough where only the guy that's going to get it is North. And you can see here he just out-jumps Williams, gets his hands on it, hangs on. That was a very nice catch. And that moved the ball down to about inside about the 19-yard line. 1st and 10, clock running, 8:13 and moving. 4th quarter, Raiders up 26-7. Again, these guys, I think they're going to run, they're going to pass. There's a pass intended for Hugh Rainey and incomplete. That was a better defensive play by Williams on that one. Again, he just tries to throw it in rather than zip it in, and Williams is right there just to get in the way and knock the ball away. Rainey and LeBurge came to the Raiders at the same time, and Rainey's out of Nanaimo program, and LeBurge played over in Vancouver high school football, and they've been pretty good team members. It was a handoff to Williams for a very 4-yard gain, but they've been teammates for those 3 years, and they love throwing to each other. So sometimes I would think, when you're a quarterback that really likes a guy, you're going to try to pitch to him in a game. And last week, North caught, I think it was 12 passes. So yeah, he's got pretty good hands. I'm going to throw it to him too. So you've got Normore in to try a field goal. It'll be probably, looks like, from about the 26-yard line. 7:10, clock running. Oh, it's a fake. I'm not sure why they wanted to do that, but that was designed the way the holder got up that quickly. But I guess no harm, no foul from the Raiders side. You turn the ball over deep in Rebels territory. You got the clock on your side, and you've also got a 19-point lead. So with the turnover, Rebels take over at their own 21-yard line. 21-yard line. They got to get a little bit of urgency in their step here. I'm not sure if they look at it now that let's keep everybody healthy. We got the bye week coming up. Everybody can heal the little hurts. Guys can go home and have some home cooking for some of them for the first time since the end of June, and a good chance just to rest the body before the next week in the September 8th game. There's Brown again. Looked like a design quarterback draw, the way he put the foot in the ground pretty quick after he dropped back. Looks like he picked up about 5 yards. He was the leading rusher coming into this game for the Rebels. He was about 5 yards ahead of Khalil Williams at the time. And Khalil obviously took over after this game. We got second down and 5. Ball at about the 26-yard line. Brown again in the shotgun. Got 3 receivers to his right. Again, no help coming, nobody open. And a sack by number 98, and that was Brody Taylor. That's his second sack this evening that I know of, if that was Brody. Yeah, just everybody working hard. Just everybody working hard. No, it wasn't Brody Taylor. I'm sorry, that was Connor Kylett on the sack. But I thought on that play, some of the Rebels, they just were, I'm not saying they were dogging it, but they just didn't seem to have that urgency to get open and, keep feet moving as quickly as possible, because Brown just ran out of time very fast. And there's a third down gamble. Again, Brown dropping back. That was a quick pass to Cody Holmes, just through his hands. And I got some tempers flaring there with Holmes going after and throwing punches. Oh boy, here we go. I'm not sure number 39 is. That's Cordell Holder from the Rebels, getting a little excited out there. I would think to be suspensions coming out of this one, which would be unfortunate because you don't want guys missing football games because of non-football plays. And this is what it is. And all the coaches are on the field getting their players off. So we'll let the referees sort this out, because they're the ones that threw the flags, that witnessed all the shenanigans, if you will. On the play, the defender knocked Cody Holmes down, and he didn't take exception to it at the beginning. What I saw was Kane Stevenson took exception to the way it went. Now you got some Rebels over there getting after each other. Get frustration. Yeah, Kane comes in and gives him a push. And that started, but I think Cody Holmes has kind of thought, okay, well, I didn't think it was fair, but had his say and then walked away. That'll definitely be a penalty. And we might see some ejections here. And it looks like some of the coaches are getting a yap in as well. That's unfortunate. Like I said earlier, there's not a lot of love lost between these two clubs. There's long memories. But, a lot of this stuff happened in 2005 when the franchise was granted in Nanaimo, and the president of the Rebels at the time, he didn't want to stand in kids' way, and some of them wanted to go play for Coach Snoop, who had coached the Rebels, and he wasn't under contract or anything to coach the Rebels, so he decided to join the Raiders, and they were released to the Raiders, and the Rebels kind of were devastated. There was a lot of kids that went north, and so there are a lot of memories, long memories among some of these guys, and they bring that back. But when you think about it, that was in 2005, so some of these guys that are 19 years old now, they were 1 or 2 years old. So it doesn't affect these guys. They don't know anything about that history. They don't care about this history. So another long discussion for the officials. I see the game supervisor, Karen Short, out there on the field, who is my wife, by the way. So I would think the way they're talking about it, there's player ejections. I'm not sure there'd be both sides. I would think number 39 from the Rebels, he threw a punch. I think he'll probably be ejected from the game. And even number 15, North Rainey from the Raiders, he kind of responded to the punching and the different things. So he might see him walk into the change room as well. Well, that's the type of stuff that goes on sometimes in junior football. You know, it's heated. There's a lot of talking goes on during the play. It's a place you don't want your chihuahua to be involved in. Got to keep him on your leash. And a lot of frustration too. Sometimes, you know, you're on the end of a score that you didn't expect, or you know, you're angry about, and a lot of times you get mad at teammates because you don't feel they have that passion. Why aren't you mad about this, or why aren't you excited about this? And you start amongst your own team, and like I said, junior football is a lot of talking. There's it's this age group does a lot of talking, and they'll get in somebody's face after they make a tackle, just very briefly, but that piles up after a while, and then the next thing you know, you take a silly penalty, a UR, because you get a chance to poke at them or something. But the officials got keen eyes. They see this. So here's the head official, Heath Edelston. Looks like he's ready to announce what happened. Got an ejection against the Rebels. Ejection against the Rebels. Ejection against the Rebels. Ejection against the Rebels. On sports, objectionable conduct against the Rebels. So that's 4 ejections that I see. 4 ejections. That's 100 yards of penalties. I don't know how you mark that out. Plus an objectionable conduct. So now this is where the Raiders have to keep their heads, just because all the penalties are against the Rebels. You got to be under control here. You don't want to do something silly that catches somebody's attention from the league that says that's unacceptable. Wow, these are some 3 ejections and an objectionable conduct. So these 3 players, number 39, Cordell Holder, number 75, Aaron Rose, and number 2, Kane Stevenson, have all been ejected from the game. And under the rules, they're required to go directly to the change room, stay there till the end of the game, and then what they did will be reviewed by the league, and a ruling will come down in the next few days to decide if they play football again on the 8th, or they're sitting, or maybe a longer suspension, depending when the film is looked at on exactly what type of action and what they were doing to warrant a game ejection. And over the course of this year, that's 4 players from the Raiders or Rebels that have been ejected from games. There was 1 in the first game of the season. And again, that's that passion, that's that frustration just filtering out, and some players just don't know when to stop. They, just continue. So timekeeper Bob Whitwell, who is an official, he just explained to the fans that the ball would be placed on the 1-yard line. I guess it'll be the Raiders football at the 1. The type of thing that frustrates a lot of people when they come to, especially junior football. You get a little frustrated with some of the pushing and shoving and the things that go on during the game. And then when it breaks down into a little bit of it wasn't a brawl, it was just a little disagreement amongst some players. And that's what gives junior football sometimes that the bad name. Some places they call it a beer league. We tend not to agree with that. Everybody in the CJFL is working very hard to play a straight up football game and try to limit the extracurricular activity that go on sometimes. So the Raiders are going to have the football. The first goal at the Rebels 1 yard line with 5 minutes and 16 seconds here remaining in the fourth quarter. The score, Vancouver Island Raiders 26 and the Westshore Rebels 7.
So first down and a goal for the Raiders.
So it's been an interesting game. I didn't expect a score like this. I thought it would be much closer. I thought both teams would be coming out a little tentative, but the Raiders have been more aggressive throughout this whole game. And the Rebels, to me, like I said earlier, just seemed a little bit out of sync. There were some things they just really couldn't get their handle on to get some rhythm. There's a handoff to Rhett Williams in for the touchdown. That's going to make the score 32-7. And now we just got to make sure that they don't have any of that extra stuff. And for Rhett, that's his 5th touchdown of the season. That'll move him in the first place at this point in the league scoring. In this short part of the season, early season. Here's your convert. By Normore, Jacob Normore makes the score 33-7, 4:57 to go. Out of town scores so far with the Huskers, it says here, we're up 37-17, and the last one I read it was 24-10, so I don't know how that can. Anyhow, have the Rams leading the Sun 13-12, late in the third. So this win, I'm going to definitely give the Raiders the win this evening. That'll move them into it. If the Huskers win, that'll keep the Raiders in second place, the same record, but since the Huskers beat them earlier in the year, they get the head-to-head shot on it. If the Rams hold on to win, that'll even their record to 2-2, and that'll drop the Sun to 1 win, 2 losses, and a tie. I'm not sure where Kamloops is. Rebels will drop to 1 win, 2 losses, and a tie. There's a kickoff to the left, picked up by Galato. He's at about his 20, cuts up inside. Not a lot of area to run there where the Raiders converge. Number 25 on that tackle, Corey Fletcher, was the first man in. And coming off the bottom of the pile is number 14, Niles Haney. The Rebels take over their own 28-yard line, 1st and 10, 4:47 to go in the fourth here. Now the big thing is to play clean for the rest of the way. That's got to be the goal. Both coaches have to be talking to them that they can't allow any of that stuff to happen that's going on. Williams in the shotgun. Again, he wants to get out early, and I'm not sure if that's designed or if he's just feeling the pressure right away. Williams loves that to jump over guys. Oh, a nice tackle. Brody Taylor, defensive lineman, sprinting downfield to make the tackle. That was a very nice play. Got a score here late in the game. 2 minutes left, and over in Langley, and the Sun are leading 15-13. Got a flag on the play. That could be an illegal block, possibly. But that was a very nice play. You can see him hurdle right here over McNally Hardesty. And then just use his speed, get down. But the amazing thing is number 98, Brody Taylor, coming from his left defensive end side, just sprinting down the field to make the tackle. And it looks like the penalty's against the Rebels. I didn't catch what the penalty was, but I'm sure it was a legal block. That moves the ball back to the 45-yard line, Rebels 45-yard line. Gives them the 1st and 10. 4 minutes left, clock's running. Brown shotgun again. He's getting happy feet back there, and that's just the pressure tells you that. Oh, nice catch. I think there's a penalty there for too many men on the field for the Raiders. There was a great catch by number 14. That was Stephen Gilwitz. So the penalties declined. So that's an illegal contact. I thought I counted 13 Raiders, but so that gives the Rebels a 1st and 10 at the Raiders 48-yard line. Clock's running, 3:37 to go in this game. Brown again in the shotgun. Again, drop back. Fires a bullet right through that Cody Holmes' hands. That was a very, very nice pass. Right through Cody's hands. Good coverage. Jarowski had good coverage, but just a nice pass that was right down, right Main Street, right through his hands. You can see when Mason just drops back, he sees him and he puts it a perfect arc, just right through his arms. So an incomplete pass brings the ball back to 2nd and 10. Rebels, Raiders 48-yard line. Trying to make something positive here. Get a few yards that, and/or get in and score. You got to come away with something positive that you'll work on when you get back to work this week. The 4 receivers too, as Brown's left here. Huge pressure. I think he was trying to set the screen up to Kyle Williams to the right as he looked that way, but the Raiders snuffed that out pretty quick, and the defensive lineman was out there covering Kalal. So that brings up 3rd down. I'm sure you're going to see the Rebels go for this on 3rd down at the 3-minute warning. Again, the Sun, that's the last word I got, the Okanagan Sun. We're up 15-13 over the Rams. That game pretty close to conclusion, I would think. Should get a final score at some point. I'm not sure on the Husker Kamloops game. That was one, I had one score and the other one was completely different, so I'm not sure which one is what. I can't blame the BCFC. Well, there's a tipped interception by number 21, Isaiah Johns. He's cutting back all over the field, and number 53, Tyree Russell makes the tackle. But the turnover brings the ball back to within inside the Rebels 40-yard line. It's kind of like the last dagger in there to say, boy, what a night. You can see here on the replay, Brown made a nice pass. It just got tipped. It got tipped by the receiver, Kalal coming out of the backfield, and it just dropped right into John's hands and returned it about 35 yards. So 2:42 to go. The Bird still in the shotgun. Braun in motion, handoff to Rhett Williams. Cuts back to his right, then back to his left for a pickup of about 5 yards. Again, the clock, we got a Rebel down on his knee. E.T., no, he's up, he's not hurt. He's winded a little bit, maybe. Picked up a good 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 7. Clock running, 2:30 to go. 33-7 Raiders. Again, LeBurge in the shotgun. I'm sure he's going to hand off to Williams. No, he's throwing a bullet pass here. He's going right to Hugh Rainey. And Rainey picks up the 1st down. He's tackled by Desron Kerr. Gives the Raiders another 1st down. Moves the ball to about the 21-yard line. Clock in their favor. Down to their favor. Clock running. Up on 2 minutes left in the game. Oh, looks like LeBurge is coming up over center this time. Not sure if he's kneeling down or handing off to Williams. It's a hand off to Williams to his left. It's a nice cut. Gets the edge before he gets pulled down from behind by, not sure who that was. Still on the ground. I can't see that, sorry. It looks like he picked up another first down, so that's going to put the ball at about the 10-yard line. Just inside the 10, I think it will be first and goal. Minute 41, clock moving. I'm sure he'll be handing off to Williams again here. He's had a pretty good night. Yeah, throwing the pass here. I think they might be saying, you know, come back to Nanaimo. We got a game to play. That puts the ball down at about the 1, so that'll bring up second and goal with a minute 21 to go. Ball placed at the 1-yard line. Smith play. Yeah, it looks like he didn't get the ball. His hip was on the ground before the ball went across the goal line. So clock's running, a minute 18 to go. Raiders knocking at the door again. They scored last time they were on the 1-yard line. Williams scored. That was after all the penalties. I'm sure they'll get the ball to Williams again. Williams, good play coming in from behind. That was number 17 in the Rebels. Tanner Haywood came in and tackled him from behind. For no gain, that'll bring up second and third and goal. And I would think the Raiders will be going for this. Makes for an easy bus ride home when you leave the park as the winner. The Rebels will just, you know, they'll get back to the drawing board. LeBurge throwing to Williams. Passing complete. Turnover on downs. Rebels take the ball over with 46.5 seconds to go. Now, yes, the key, as I said earlier, now the time you got to keep the emotion side down from your defense. Just make sure that you walk out of this game clean. We got a final out of Chilliwack. The Valley Huskers defeated Kamloops 38-17. So that keeps Chilliwack in first place with a 3-1 record, and they've got it against the Raiders over points for and against at the head-to-head. I guess in second place will be a tie between the Rebels and. No, it'll be Okanagan Sun, I'm sorry, with a record of 2 wins, 1 loss to the tie. And then the Raiders, or the Rebels, 1-2-1. Rams will be 1-3, and the Kamloops will be 0-3. So just under quarterback, I think you could see Kellyle Williams here just finish it out. And get a little runoff tackle. Just enough to pick up almost a first down, but those runs later are going to happen based on the fact that the defense is just sort of saying, okay, we've got this 1-1, I think, so we're trying, but we're not really trying. There's 38 seconds left. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to BCFC TV and another episode of BC Junior Football. And we hope that we can be part of your Saturday nights and Sunday afternoons the entire season. Next week is a bye week, so if you're tuning in and you want to watch some junior football, the Prairie Football Conference has their games of the week on as well. You check them out on the web and go through the CJFL website, cjfl.org, and they'll direct you to where those games are playing. But we hope that everybody tunes back in on September 8th, the BCFC action, when all 3 teams will be again on action that Saturday night with the game in Nanaimo between the Rebels. Chilliwack will be up in Kamloops, and Okanagan will entertain the Langley Rams. I've got an injury there. That's number 99, Connor Kulik.
99 for the Raiders is down right now.
And we got 9 seconds left in the game. You don't want to see anybody get injured too badly late in this game. You know, it's what you don't need. Along with hurting your body, it makes for a very uncomfortable bus ride home. So I think here you're going to see the Rebels. I think you'll see the Rebels kneel on this one. Even if it's third down, just let the clock run because the clock's in their favor. Just kneel down, game over, shake hands, and get back to the drawing board. Like I said, look forward to the bye, rest the body, get your mind back, go home, see mom, get some of that good home cooking in you. This will be the last play. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they'll throw it up. You never know what Coach Beatty's thinking here. That's what he wants to do. He's going deep. And it just hangs up. And for an incomplete pass. That was number 11, Austin Lindobrow. Covered by number 7, Gervan McNally. Hardesty, and that's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen, with your final score 33-7. Again, one of those games that before it started that had a lot of intrigue to it based on the history of these guys between the two teams and just the positions where they're in. You know, the Raiders came in 2-1. The Rebels hadn't lost. They're 1-0-1, and they were looking for that second win. So it allows the Raiders to get in here. They come home with a 33-7 win for the Rebels, with a little bit of the controversy that's gone on during this past week with their head coach being suspended. I think at the end of the day, they've decided here to not shake hands because of some of the ill will that was shown earlier, which is sad because the game's all about community. It's about, you know, it's a football family, and we don't want to create a lot of animosity between all these teams. So again, congratulations to the Vancouver Island Raiders on the win this evening, and to the Rebels. A little bit of work, but they'll get that put together. They have a very good football team. And I see the referees are hanging around the field, making sure, as are the game supervisors. We got one of the Raiders going into the Rebels huddle there, which seemed kind of strange. That was number 58, Tristan Waters. Very good football player. And I know, you know, some players don't look at this stuff as part of the game, but it's kind of like, you know, let's make up. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to BCFC TV, and I hope we can bring you these games on a weekly basis, and you're going to tune in and enjoy it. And if you ever get a chance to come out junior football, come out and do it, because the atmosphere at these games is tremendous. A lot of good fans, young fans, everybody, you know, cheering for their home side. A lot of good music being played by the announcers, and things are just happening, and you got the cheerleaders, everything's going on. It's a very good product. So if you do get a chance to come out to a game, please do. But again, on behalf of the entire British Columbia Football Conference and BCFC TV, my name is Paul Short, and I want to say good night.
The Rebels guys really good respected them. They survived. They worked hard. They went back. Wild change, you'll see Number 7 for the Rebels on defense. Everybody.